The bill passed by the House does allow bytendants to sell TikTok to a company that is approved by the U.S. government. But according to the Wall Street Journal, China has signaled it won't allow the company to sell.
I think it's an unbelievable.
Nebraska head football coach addressed the media today just ahead of spring practice. Matt Rhule at the podium fielding questions. It also marks the first time he offered public comments after the departure of Trev Alberts. Rhule spoke at length about his relationship with Alberts. He also took time to reiterate where he stands in terms of his position at Nebraska, saying he's all in and he is not going anywhere. Coming up later this evening in sports, sports director Clayton Collier has reaction from the presser and how the head coach feels ahead of the upcoming NCAA tournament games for both the Nebraska men's and women's basketball team.